Hey, what's going on? It's Stick from Woodward Sports. The football season, NFL season, is literally like 2 weeks away. Just 2 weeks away, so I figured we should get into some fantasy football. I know I got a draft coming up this week in my Dynasty League, and then a couple redraft leagues I also have coming up. So I just wanted to give you probably like the top 20 of each position. That way, this will at least get you through like the first 4 or 5 rounds, depending on how many people are in your draft. I'm going to do top 20 wide receivers, and we'll do running backs, tight ends, quarterbacks, and we'll go from there. So let's just get into it, because I hate when people on these things waste their time. Michael Thomas, your number 1 wide receiver. Now, if you're picking in like the 5th slot overall in a redraft or 6th slot, and you don't really want to go running back, or sometimes people that what's been popular is that no running back formula, which I've never seen work, but people say it works. Michael Thomas should be your first wide receiver off the board. Drew Brees coming into pretty much his last year. I think everybody's understood that it's going to be his swan song, and I think he's going to go out with a bang. He doesn't have the arm strength he used to, but he could definitely push the ball downfield. You know, the Saints offense is what it is. Michael Thomas had an incredible year last year. There's really no reason why he should fall out of that number 1 spot. Last year he finished as a top 5 fantasy wide receiver 9 of his last 12 games. That's a guy that's going to get you a championship. Your second wide receiver off the board, this is where the debate begins, really, because there's Michael Thomas and then there's everybody else. I go with Davante Adams. And the reason I go with Davante Adams is everybody thought it was horrible that Green Bay did not get any help at wide receiver in the draft. Instead, they elected to piss Aaron Rodgers off and go with a quarterback in the first round and then a running back in the second round. We can get into that in the rookie dynasty draft. But I think that's a good thing for Davante Adams. I mean, the amount of offense that's going to run through him is going to be amazing this year. And you know damn well that Aaron Rodgers, he wants to prove something to somebody. And I think that's the Aaron Rodgers we're going to get. Some people think we're going to get the shutdown Moody Aaron Rodgers, which is a complete possibility, but I don't think so. Sorry, my camera's dying. Got to make sure to fix that. So Davante Adams should be your number 2 wide receiver off the board in fantasy football, and that leads us to number 3. I'm always a little weary when guys are falling to new teams, because I don't exactly know how the teams are going to use him. Like, is the offensive coordinator going to use this guy like the old guy? DeAndre Hopkins, a top 5 fantasy wide receiver in 4 of the past 5 seasons. So the consistency is there. It's just he was in a completely different system. So it's tough to gauge exactly how many targets he's going to get this year. But you know the talent is there. You know Arizona's going to chuck the ball. I mean, they run that high-speed offense, 4 wide receivers more than anybody else in the league. So you know DeAndre Hopkins is going to get his looks. You just hope Kyler Murray can get him the ball and get him the ball quick. I mean, Kyler Murray was sacked a lot last year. It's because he's a rookie, tried to depend on his athleticism. Doesn't work out that way in the NFL. Number 4, this guy's been in the top 5 for as long as you can remember, Julio Jones. I mean, he's 31 years old, but he's going to put up insane numbers. The Atlanta offense just keeps rolling. Matt Ryan's going to do Matt Ryan. You expect Calvin Ridley to take a step forward this year, but that doesn't mean Julio's going to take a step back. With losing their tight end in the offseason, I'd take Julio to get even more balls than he had last year. Don't shy away from taking this guy in your top 5. Now to number 5, to round out the top 5, Tyreek Hill. He doesn't stay healthy that often, but when the dude is healthy and on the field full time, he's literally unstoppable. He's never finished lower than 4th in points per snap, so that means when he's on the field, he's a top 4 guy, not just a top 5 guy. Full year with Andy Reid and a full year with Pat Mahomes, I look for Tyreek Hill to be a top 5 guy this year. Chris Godwin kind of falls under the same DeAndre Hopkins category, except he's in the same offense. He just has a new quarterback. And even though it's a better quarterback, Brady's also a more balanced quarterback. So you know he's going to distribute the ball a lot more than Jameis Winston did, just chucking the ball fucking everywhere, throwing 30 interceptions. That's amazing, and 30 touchdowns. So I think Jameis Winston has talent. I just think Tom Brady is going to distribute it a lot more, so Godwin may not put up the monster numbers that he did last year. Can Brady throw for 5,000 though in that offense? Pretty sure if Winston can, Brady can. Then, hometown boy, Kenny Galladay. Or Galladay. I got that Michigan accent. That's how you got to say things. Last season, didn't matter who was throwing him the ball. I could have been throwing him the ball. The dude was snatching touchdowns. Athletic freak, going over everybody. One of Bob Quinn's best picks ever. I like Quintez Cephas a lot, too, as a rookie this year. I think he's going to be a big player down the road. But Galladay, top 7 guy for sure. And then another hometown guy, Allen Robinson, out of Orchard Lake, St. Mary's. I lean towards St. Mary's. That's my old high school. Crazy amount of football players that they turn out. They actually got 3 wide receivers in the NFL right now. Allen Robinson, KJ Hamler, and Van Jefferson. Allen Robinson, everybody sleeps on this kid, man, and he's never really had a top-notch quarterback. Not saying that Nick Foles is a top-notch quarterback, but he should be better than Trubisky was last year, and if he doesn't get the job, you'd assume that it's because Trubisky's better than Trubisky was last year. So look for Allen Robinson in your top 10. If you can get him in your top 10, I'd take him. I got no questions about that. Number 9, Juju Smith-Schuster. He gets Big Ben back this year, which is a major improvement over the freak show that they had in their last year. Just ask Myles Garrett how that guy competed. And either way, I like Juju. He could be a true number 1 in Pittsburgh. He's going to get all the deep balls. James Washington was supposed to be that guy, but he's really not showing that downfield presence that he's supposed to. So I got Schuster at number 9. Now we're going to number 10, another Tampa Bay guy. Like I said, Tom Brady's going to distribute the ball, so why not put 2 of them in the top 10? Mike Evans, same as Godwin. I don't know exactly how many balls he's going to get, but you know that last year he was getting a considerable amount. Like last year, 53% of his points came in just 3 games. So that makes him a boom or bust guy, but that should even out with Tom Brady. So I like that move there at number 10. Amari Cooper from Dallas. A lot of people think when they drafted CeeDee Lamb, it's going to take away from Cooper. I think it's only going to help. I mean, last year it was Cooper and Gallup, and you just double-team Cooper, let Gallup run wild, and that's exactly what he did. That's why I think Gallup got a big performance last year, because they didn't have another complimentary guy for Cooper. I love Dak. He's on a franchise tag right now. He wants to prove he's worth that Mahomes money, so he's going to be getting it. Number 11 should be Amari Cooper. Number 12, Adam Thielen. This guy, I don't know why I don't respect Thielen the way I should. I mean, I got him at number 12, which is good. But a lot of people have him way higher than that. I don't know, man. I don't trust Minnesota. Now that they lost Stephon Diggs, that was a big part of the stretching the defense and to open up the underneath for Thielen. I do like Justin Jefferson. I think he's going to be a solid fantasy wide receiver as a rookie. But Thielen will get the job done for you. I do not mind him as a number 2. Don't look for him as your number 1 wide receiver. Number 13, lucky number 13, Odell Beckham Jr. It's put up or shut up time for Odell, right? I mean, he did it all. Like, I see memes all the time about him living off that one catch that he made, and it's kind of true. He's really got to do it this year for Cleveland. They got the offense, they got the running backs, they got the quarterback. I'm not a big Baker Mayfield guy, but a lot of people love the quarterback. So take Beckham as your number 13. Robert Woods is a guy that's been a pain in my ass for 2 years. In my Dynasty League, I didn't pay $30 to protect him, and the past 2 seasons, he's been a top 15 guy. So I kick myself in the ass for not respecting Robert Woods. And he only scored 2 TDs last year. So even if that goes to 4, that makes up for a lot of yards he may not get this year. I like Robert Woods as, if I had to go between him and Odell, I would go Odell, but Robert Woods has a ton of upside. Number 15, DJ Moore. Bust-out player the last 2 seasons. I think he's done a great job. Or wait, I'm sorry. Bust-out player, yeah, the first 2 years of his career, he's just been building and building and building. But that was all with a different quarterback. So Teddy Bridgewater's coming in. I'm not sure how Matt Rule's going to use him in the system. He's got the skill set. He's kind of got the pedigree. I just don't know if it's going to work out. But I have him as a top 15 guy. A.J. Brown. Now, there's a guy who I can't wait to see with a full year at Tannehill. Now, yes, a ton of their offense is predicated on the play-action pass with Derrick Henry. So Derrick Henry has to have a big year for A.J. Brown to have a big year. But that monster running back, who's to say he's not going to be the number one running back in the league this year? So I'd go with A.J. Brown simply because of the offense built around him, and he's just a big freak show. Number 17, we mentioned him earlier, Calvin Ridley. Like I said, he's going to take a step forward this year. Atlanta lost their major tight end. Julio and Ridley, I think, are the best 1-2 punch combination. Yeah, I'd say so. Even though I have Godwin and Evans higher than rated, I would still take those two with any other quarterback. I don't know. I know that doesn't make sense the way I have them rated, but I think that 1-2 punch is deadly of Ridley and Jones. He was a top 15 guy before he shut it down before Week 14 last year, and now that Sanu and Hooper are gone, Ridley's going to be a good guy. Cooper Kupp. Here's another one that is just... The guy's always putting up numbers, and I'm just always missing the boat on him for some reason. One thing I would kind of steer you away from him this year is last year when Tyler Higbee started to come on, Kupp he went way down, man. His target share went from 25%, which, do the math, 1 every 4 plays went to him, or throws went to him, to 15%, which... I don't know. Brandon Cooks is out, so Kupp is there to take. Just maybe don't rely on him to take a leap forward from last year. Expect him to kind of be the same guy. Number 19. Here's the guy. This is the guy that everybody's talking about. I love him. You love him. His name is Scary Terry. Terry McLaurin. I expect him to take a huge leap this year in Washington. He may even leap up into a top 15 wide receiver. Ron Rivera's offense, you know what it did with Steve Smith, and he's kind of got that Steve Smith slick route styles. He did it last year with Dwayne Haskins. He did it last year with Case Keenum. I think another year of Haskins learning and maybe Alex Smith pushing those people and teaching them how to play fucking football will help. But I really think Terry McLaurin is going to have a big year. And then that leaves us with number 20, the last guy on this countdown, Courtland Sutton. He's another guy I'm kind of fading on. A lot of people have him in their top 15. But he was the only weapon in Denver last year. Now, I mean... They drafted Jerry Jeudy, they got Melvin Gordon, they got KJ Hamler, another guy out of Orchard Lake St. Mary's. The ball's going to be spread around a lot more, unless Drew Lock is just, going to fall in love like young quarterbacks do and just keep chucking it to one guy. If that's Sutton, good season. If not, look for him to have an average season. So if you want to see the entire list, it's up right now, WoodwardSports.com. Just click on the fantasy sports section. My name is Stick. I'll be putting up more videos throughout this week because fantasy football drafts are happening, baby.